All right, great. Looks like everyone here, it's 2 o'clock, so why don't we begin? I wanted to bring up this sort of a short agenda, just to mention that this is a part of a series of webinars that we put together. We had one on Monday that covered the basics of the project for the web and how to create a project, how to create tasks, and then ultimately how to create a roadmap or sort of some portfolio management functionality, which again, I'm going to be using that project, those projects, and the roadmap and showing you how it incorporates into Teams. So if you missed that one, you can always get a replay. And Kirill, if you don't mind posting this link. So this is today's webinar. So we're going to be setting up teams, creating channels, creating rooms, team members, also setting up some notification, showing you how to chat, collaborate, set up calls and meetings. And there's a few upcoming ones. So if you guys want to take advantage of it, go ahead. The link will be posted for you. Now, there is one thing that I wanted to mention to you. Of course, if you don't already have Teams, you can download Teams right from Microsoft's site at products.office.com. It is free. It's available absolutely for free. It's a basic license. I believe it's up to 25 users, and Microsoft made available for free. So you can go ahead and download it. For those of you, I'm assuming they have Project. If you don't have Project is also available as a free trial, so it can be downloaded. Now, one other thing I did want to mention is we as Trusted IT Group, during these challenging times, we're actually extending an offer for anyone and everyone out there that need help with Teams to support it absolutely for free, at least till April, maybe even longer if need be. We dedicated some resources and a special team. So anything you need, whether it's installing it, supporting it, how to create, whatever I'm going to be going through today, or more advanced features, please call on us and we're here to help. And actually this is a barcode that can you scan and it will take you to the form where you can request the service from us, or if Kirill, if you don't mind posting this page, that's basically the page it will take you to if you need the team support. Okay, without further ado, let's get into Teams. So foremost, what do we want to do? We need to create the team, okay? So we'll go ahead and create the team, and the option is, build the team from scratch or the existing Office 365 group. Remember, this is a part of your overall Office 365 environment. So your Active Directory governs all of these securities. So you can, if your groups and roles are set up by your IT team, you can go ahead and do that here. For purpose of this presentation, I am going to create it from scratch, and I'm going to create a public team. And our team name will be, we're going to use for today's purpose, this is going to be Q1 Marketing Roadmap. Okay, so that's the purpose of this team. So we're going to go ahead and create it. It's done. And now we can start adding users, right? So I'm going to add Kirill to this group. I'm going to add Alex. I'm also going to add Michael. And now we have our team set up. Now here, and I'll cover a little more on this, they could be a member or an owner. Obviously, it's all permission based. So now we have the team basically set up. So now it is a Q1 marketing roadmap. So basically, because that's sort of the hierarchy, And the foremost, the general channel, okay, cannot be changed. So general channel is a fixed channel where you can collaborate on anything and everything related to the Q1 marketing roadmap, whether it's doing general posts, whether it's uploading files that can be shared, and all files, obviously, whatever you upload here are also synced to your OneDrive. I mean, just if you're all here, so it will definitely be synced to your OneDrive, whatever is uploaded into Teams environment. You also can have a wiki. Those are default tabs, so to say. And you can, of course, collaborate on this whole environment. And you can add an array of different applications that are available to you, such as Excel's, Power BI's, OneNotes, and many, many, many more. Again, I'm not going to get into this. We will have probably another Teams webinar that's a little bit more advanced that gets into customization and the Power Apps and all that. For the sake of this webinar, we're going to keep it to the theme as to what was it originally designed for, which is incorporating project into the team environment. So the next order of business, we're going to go ahead and create additional channels, right? So we're going to add a channel, and we're going to call this the Q1 roadmap. I also kind of like to call it, AKA, I guess, portfolio management. And again, for those of you who are obviously PMPs out there, you may argue that it's not, but 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 it kind of has that functionality. So so again, it's up to you what you do and what you call it, and how you call it, and this would be just kind of my preference. So now here, okay, we actually gonna go ahead and incorporate the my roadmap. Okay, so foremost, let me put my roadmap in, and the way you do that, okay, you simply add a website link. So we're gonna go to website, and we're gonna go ahead, and this tab is gonna be called the roadmap, and the link we're gonna acquire right from our project, okay, that we've created yesterday. Okay, and this is the roadmap, and I'll get into this a little bit later in the presentation, to details of this. For now, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna take this, and then we're going to use this URL. We're gonna paste it here. Gonna go ahead and save it, and now we actually have a view, high-level view, or so to say, the roadmap view, okay, of the of this environment, okay? And this includes particular project. But again, we'll get into the roadmap functionality in a little bit. I just want to put in some relevant projects in that we're working on. So let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna add another channel to this, okay? And this particular one will be called newsletters. Okay, we're gonna be working on newsletters. That's a project. Okay, we're gonna add that in. Okay, and again, you're gonna notice the theme here. I'm gonna go ahead and use the website app, and in this case, I could just call it my project, because everybody will have access to different tabs, or can have access to different tabs. So we're gonna bring, now here, we're gonna take this particular project. Again, this is your project for the web environment. This is the newsletter project. I'm gonna go ahead and take this particular URL, because this has everything to do specifically with newsletter project. And I'm gonna incorporate that into Teams also. So now we have a newsletters, okay, as a project and full functionality of it inside Teams. Okay, so now let me just stop here for a moment, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't mind, I'm going to launch a quick poll. And what that poll is, we're just trying to understand who's attending our webinars so we can in the future cater these webinars as to what actually our audience needs and wants. So it would really help us to understand who's in the audience to be able to do that. So let me go ahead and launch this quick poll and give you a few seconds to complete it. And I said again, really appreciate you doing that. It is anonymous, so we don't know who's voting. Just want to get a sense of who's in the audience and give you a few more seconds. Of course, I'm going to share the results so you could see who's attending our webinars. And few more votes, and we're going to close the polls. Okay, and I'm going to share the results with you. So that is currently who's in the audience. Looks like we have a majority of project managers. It's pretty much equal split between project managers, senior manager, project managers, some PMO directors. We even have an executive and other. A couple of people that are other. Not sure what others are, but if you don't mind sharing personally with us who is other, would love to hear it. Okay, so let me go on with the presentation. Okay, so what I like to do is kind of stop here, and I'll create several more projects, but I want to show you the real why we're here, the real sort of the capabilities of this tool. This is where you can collaborate. You can collaborate in the office, you collaborate remotely. So if you need a little bit more real estate, you can go ahead and click on this button here, and it gives you this full project view and full project visibility. So whether you're working in a grid view, whether you're working in a board view, as you could see, we can separate them and group by progress. And I can go ahead and move the boards into progress. It automatically gives it a 50%. I could say some of them were completed. Boom, and gives it 100%. You can also view it in a timeline fashion with dependencies. So again, full functionality within Teams, but even more than just project because you can collaborate, okay? You could start a conversation, you know, uh, and conversation will persist here as you can come back here at any time and this will always be here. So even if we close this, okay, you can come back here, later in the day, tomorrow, this conversation will persist and who's talking about the project. You can also go ahead and do an on the fly meeting. You could start a meeting right from here. You could schedule it. You can or meet now, or you can go ahead and agree on the time and date you want to meet and schedule it from here. So without leaving Teams, you have this full functionality. Okay. And as I said, you need more real estate. You can go ahead and take more real estate. You want to jump from project to project, you can go ahead and do so. We'll have complete control here. So now let me show you how we add more projects, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and add another channel, okay? So each channel becomes a project, okay? So we have drip emails. These are the email follow-up sequences. And again, we're gonna create this project. And the same way as you remember before, we're going to go ahead and choose the website link. This is my project. And we're going to find our project that exists today in the project environment, right? So again, it's all, Microsoft Team, different windows, but same files we're working on. So we're going to choose our drip email project, and we will go ahead and take this URL and incorporate it right into this channel. And now we have our second project. So we have our emails, we have the newsletters, we have a roadmap. Okay, and the roadmap is right here. Okay, and again, I am showing you the basic functionality of Teams. They could be custom designed using flows and using Power App automation to make sure these windows are spawned. Your team is notified of different events. It has a lot more capabilities that I'm showing you today. This is very basics of incorporating project into Teams. Okay, so on the roadmap, as you could see, we have our newsletters, right? And we have our emails, okay? And I'm going to get into roadmaps in a little bit. Let me just add the final project to this, which is one more channel, and it's called webinars. So we're going to add one more channel. And again, in this case, I'm calling it my project because you're really managing them. These are just the tabs. I'm sorry. This is actually webinars, because this is the channel. This is where you name your projects. On the left side, they're being named. When you actually incorporating them here, then you could just call them my projects because you're working on one project at a time. So here it's my project. And again, we're going to go grab this URL from here. And it's the take webinars, which is this project right here. And this is the URL. And we will go ahead and incorporate it into our environment. Okay, so now we have webinars. We have our, okay, so that's, again, we're webinars, and this is my project when it comes to webinars. You can have post, okay, anything and everything about the webinars. Let's say you don't have Teams access, or you happen to be on the road, and you have an idea and you want to sort of incorporate something into this particular channel. There are actually a multitude of ways that you could do that, and one of them is being able to do it via email. So there's an email link that you could choose and actually email your content in. It will appear here. As I said before, files can be uploaded right from your drive, and when they upload it, they will be shared using your OneDrive. So they'll be viewed here, and they can also be worked on using your OneDrive, or they will be visible in your OneDrive environment. Right here, right on the OneDrive. Okay, so they're synced, they're always the same. You always have a wiki, which is basically, this could be anything: text, pages, collaboration, conversations, and everywhere there's a persistent chat, opportunity to meet, opportunity to share files, where it's really sort of area specific. So it is as granular as a section. So you could actually have a chat on this section, and you can have a separate section, and you can actually have a collaboration on this specific section. And again, this is all part of the webinars project. Okay, so chats are persistent, meetings are persistent, and your project management is done here. So everything is really governed and controlled here. You need more real estate, you open it up. You can have timeline view. As I said, again, here's your Gantt chart, full functionality of this tool. You again have collaboration here, okay, and this is kind of how you manage it. And of course, your roadmap, which is your overall, as I call portfolio, a simplified, let's call it simplified portfolio management, is here. because you can obviously see where these different projects that I set up, the email campaign, which is a drip follow-up, newsletter, and webinars, how they appear on the roadmap. And so you could see right here, we could set some milestones. Live webinar is a potential issue. Here, it's at risk, so we may have to recalibrate some resources. It shows some milestones here with some dependencies. The newsletter is green, it's right on time, progressing on track. Now, the email follow-ups are really at risk because we need them ready as soon as the live webinars are ready. So again, all this can be visualized on this roadmap and managed right within Teams, and of course, collaborated on. And you can hold meetings as to, okay, let's look at risks. Okay, and then you could schedule, as I said, you could schedule a meeting right from here. Okay. The other functionality that I wanted to cover is how do you get some reporting? Well, that is also something that you could do, and we actually gonna use an app for that. So we can gonna go ahead and install a Power BI app, and as easily as this, we can have our Power BI reports incorporated into the Teams environment. So as you could see here, we have full portfolio dashboard, and it's dynamic, just like full functionality of Power BI is here. You could slice and dice however you wish. You have your timelines, milestones, resources, and again, the key here, why are we doing it in Teams, is that we're able to collaborate. Okay, we're able to collaborate on the fly. Let's discuss uh, resource issues. Boom. Let's see. And we're going to go ahead and schedule a meeting to meet on it because it's a really urgent issue. So we're going to go ahead and meet at 5 o'clock. We're going to add, and of course, you're going to invite some members, and we'll go ahead and send this out, and the meeting is done. Actually, I cannot. I'm sorry. That functionality wasn't enabled for me in this because I had to have this member. I didn't set up the membership properly. So for this particular user, yes, remember that I mentioned that earlier in the call. It is, and I do want to cover this a little bit more because there are securities. They have to be governed. They are foremost governed through Active Directory. And here's where you manage some of them. You can manage your whole team here. Okay, here are your members of the group here. They have separate membership permissions. You can get into channel permissions here. You have certain opportunity to show that. You also have some analytics. You also have so you could see the usage of the channel and granular settings. Okay, so you have your team picture, you have membership permissions. As you can see, they get fairly granular. Not only you control interactive directory, but you can also control them here. Guest permissions, mentions, team code, of course, fun stuff and tags. So everything can be controlled in a very granular fashion here. Um, the At this point, I want to take a pause and take a look and see if we have questions. Looks like okay. So yes, if you wanted to link a notebook, okay, I think that question was answered. Okay, let me hand this over. Yes, so if I were to, I think the question was if we can refresh data. So yes, as long as the data is published, so it's all about publishing and republishing the data in Power BI, right? So this data will be as current as it was published to this report. So that would be the answer. I don't know if I answered that question correctly. Okay, yeah, Kirill, could you help me out with some of these questions in the Q&A section, please? So that I can address, otherwise we'll run out of time. And I did want to cover a few more subjects here, so before we're completely out of time. Okay, so as I said again, there's here simply I think we talked about it. So you can actually email content in, and I wanted to show you that functionality because I found it useful. When you see something that you like, or say a piece of content or a message, you can actually email it into the channel, and there's the email link right here. Okay, so that's a good functionality. I also did want to show you the one thing is that it is very mobile friendly. So this whole environment looks great on mobile, whether it's Power BI, Teams, conferencing, video. I mean, pretty much the whole gamut. I mean, this really is a mobile friendly. It was designed for mobile, iOS, Android. It is designed for all platforms, and it's definitely mobile friendly. Um, look, the only other thing that I wanted to cover is really let you guys know that if again, this was a very high level sort of a walkthrough how to incorporate your project into Teams. We could do a much deeper dive. We could do it one-on-one. We could do it based on your environment, your unique environment. Just reach out to us. Let us know. We could schedule a one-on-one, absolutely free, no obligations. And again, to remind you that if you need help at all with Teams, we are supporting it and helping you install it absolutely for free between now and April. We know it's really challenging for everyone. If you have to work at home, you're not set up to do it remotely, we could certainly help you out. The tool itself is free, and we can support it for you. And we would love to address all the questions. We could actually do that, I believe. Yes, you can integrate SharePoint into Teams as well. That is the question, and the answer is yes. Uh, okay. Yep, looks like we're covering all the questions. So we are coming to an end. I don't want to keep you over time. Be more than happy to answer any of the questions I directly. Let me actually leave my information in chat. I can leave you my email. My direct email is yuri.fried@trusteditgroup.com. And please feel free to contact me, and I can address all the questions that you have. I'd like to thank you very much, and please join us for the upcoming webinars. There's going to be a few coming up. Well, there's one more this week, and there are a few coming up next week, and there's going to be a little deeper dive into Teams also next week. Uh, thank you very much. Have a great day, and stay safe.